Good morning, everybody. That's pretty early. Sorry. Um, I've been thinking here, been sitting here for a few minutes, working on another project. Not sure how it's going to turn out, but I've been working on it for a couple of days. Um, really didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I was listening to Michelle, and I think it was on her Squirrels channel, and I'll put her links to her different channels in the description box down below. You really need to get on her channel. She is awesome. Um, and she talks a lot. Sometimes I think she takes a breath at the beginning and doesn't take anything until the end. I really do. But she's very awesome at it, very informative, loves to talk, and gives you ideas and supports you very, very well. And I think what I'm going to talk about today is something she brought up yesterday in one of the videos I watched, is how YouTube can help, especially those in their 50 and above years. But then I was beginning to think there's stuff that has happened in my life way before YouTube. And so I thought, I've got to give a little history, which has led me to the point where I feel like I can do YouTube. So I hope this isn't going to take very long and drawn out, and it's going to be something that will be informative and can help anybody who's out there, or doesn't offend anybody. But let me get started, I guess. No more excuses. I really don't like talking about myself, so this is really difficult. But when my husband and I got married, we decided that we wanted kids. And we were blessed with 6 kids. We loved them dearly. He was gone a lot. I was a stay-at-home mom, supporting my kids in soccer, cheerleading, football, cross country, cheerleading, dancing, drill team, you name it, they did it, and I was there. My husband was in the military, Navy, minesweeper. So he was gone a lot. And my parents were living in California at the time, so they weren't there to help me out when I needed it. So it was all on my shoulders. And I felt I was doing pretty good, but my bishop at one time called me over and to his house, because he lived right across the street from us. And he says, we need to get you some help. And I go, what do you mean? I have plenty of help at home. He says, Holly, you're suffering from depression. And that's when I first knew that there was something going on in my life that needed to be addressed. And so depression. Okay, well, I took care of that and I was fine and dealt with my depression, and, no big deal. My mom had it, my grandmother had it. So I knew eventually I would get depression. No big deal. So we carried on, and then my husband retired and he went out on the truck. But one good thing, my kids were getting older. So when my youngest was in junior high, I decided that, well, I think it's about time I did something for myself. So that's when I went back to school. I started out to be a sign language interpreter, and I graduated with that degree, bachelor's degree in that. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great, to be a sign language interpreter. I can do freelancing, or I could be hired on by a school. But where I lived at the time, there wasn't much need for an interpreter. Most of the deaf community was up in bigger cities like Boise and stuff. So I did some freelancing. I did the mail service test for a deaf woman, and I had no idea what I was doing. I really did not. And I really think I felt that I had flubbed it up for her, but she passed and she owed it all to me. And I said, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Then I did a child, or I couldn't say a child, a young man who was doing his senior year at the high school. We had known each other for quite a while, so I did it for him. But I went to another school to observe some other interpreters, and I didn't like what I saw, and I just told myself, no, I'm not going to be an interpreter. I think there's something better out there for me. So that's when I decided I was going to go back and become a teacher. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I got my master's in deaf education. So I went back to become a teacher. I started teaching adult students while I was going back to school. That was a mistake. I can't teach adults, believe me. They frustrate me more than the younger kids do. So I didn't do that. So it took me 11 years to graduate, finally. When I took my state test, I passed the general ed test pretty well. When I did the special education test, I passed it perfect score. And I was really surprised. I even had them tally it up again. And yeah, so I knew right then and there I found my calling. And I found a job. Almost a couple of weeks after I got my test scores done, I found a job. I found me. Not my kids, not my husband, not the housewife. I found me. I loved my job. I just thrived when I went to school. I was there early. I mean, I was up at 4 a.m, showed up at 5 at the school, so that I could do my paperwork and get materials made. And I was just blossoming in my job. I loved it. It was the best job ever that I had in my life. But in the meantime, I was losing weight, and I had lost a lot of weight, and I had what they call a belly skirt. And I decided to, for elective surgery, to have that belly skirt removed so that I could have my pants fit me better and stuff like that, right? So we found a surgeon in Utah that does it. And so I had the surgery done. All is well. The surgery looked beautiful. I thought it looked beautiful, but within a week, things went bad. I got a severe infection on both sides of the scar. So on my left and right side. Right side was the worst. I had to go to a wound doctor where he had to open up the wounds and drain them. And I know this sounds gross, but on one side he got over 4 cups of fluid. I was sick, very sick. So they put me on mega doses of antibiotics. And every week I had to go in and have the wound opened and cleaned, both sides, then packed again. The left side was healing pretty well. The right side wasn't. It kept on draining. It kept festering up. I kept getting fevers. And I was just feeling downright sick. On top of that, every bandage they put on me, I had highly allergic reaction. I had hives, blisters, you name it, I had it. So we had to use moleskin on me. I was miserable. And on top of that, going through that at the time, I was in Utah. My husband was still in Idaho. He had to find us a house and had to have everything packed up and moved while I was in Utah, feeling sick. So the wound doctor kept cleaning it out and cleaning it out, putting me on antibiotics. At one time, he said, if we can't get this under control, we're going to have to put you in the hospital. So he says, we're going to put you on a wound vac. Now, a wound vac is where, and I don't know if any of you know what a wound vac is where they put a vacuum, it's like a vacuum cleaner almost. It's literally a pump. Over the wound. And they tape it up, and what it does, it just literally sucks out the bad fluid. And it's healing it from the inside out. Besides the blisters, besides the rashes, we started seeing an improvement. So that was good. 3 months after my surgery, he finally said, guess what? You're healed enough that you can go home. 3 months. But because of the infection, all that, I could barely walk. All I wanted to do was sleep. My depression hit hard. I had to go home to a house that I still had to set up, which was a good thing because it gave me something to do, you know. My husband made a good choice of a house. There's no stairs, so I didn't have to worry about climbing the stairs. But I couldn't lift anything heavy. I couldn't stand up for very long, so we had a chair, a little desk chair, one of those really cheap ones that I used, and I sat in it and I scooted around on it and from box to box and unloaded things. And if I couldn't reach the cabinets, I'd have it set aside for when he came home. He would put it away for me. That didn't feel good either, because here he was working all week, you know, and then I had expected him to come home and help here at the house, you know, and I felt like, wow, I should be able to do this, but I just couldn't. I had no energy, nothing. My muscles were weak for doing 3 months of nothing, you know, and I cried all the time because of my depression. So we finally got the depression under control. But I had to sit down with my husband one day and told him that I said, well, I tried doing a day like I would if I was up there teaching. and I couldn't make it through the day. I collapsed from exhaustion by noontime. And they told me too that they couldn't hold my teaching position any longer. I had to make a decision. So I decided to retire from my most favorite job I ever. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Let me get some Kleenex. Um, excuse me. So here I go. I had to retire, and now guilt set in, and the depression, the guilt I was feeling because I couldn't help my husband out financially. I didn't get much retirement because I didn't put much money in. Um, and so it was downhill from there for a while. And I told myself I needed to do something. I needed to find something quickly, or I was going to end up in the loony bin. And we didn't want that to happen. So I always have been a craft person, and I always would make things for my grandkids and stuff like that, but it wasn't quite enough. So I decided I had to find something more challenging that would keep my mind going and keep my mind off of the bad thoughts that were occurring. And so as I was flipping through YouTube and Pinterest and all this, I found pour painting. So I thought, well, that looks fun. But I was one of those who felt like pour painting is just paint that you mix together or whatever, and you pour it on a canvas, and there you go. I was kind of right, but I was kind of wrong too. And time after time, I tried, and it didn't work out. I knew something was wrong, so I found a channel on YouTube. Um, not on YouTube, Facebook, Smart Arts or Smart Courses. Sorry, had 3 or 4 instructors, and you could take courses through them to learn the process of pouring paint. And that was a blessing in my life. I've enjoyed painting ever since then. It gave me something to do with my life, something I didn't have to do on the outside, but it caused another issue with me. I became an introvert. I was never an introvert. I always had friends. I was always out doing things with my kids when I could. I was active in my church, even when my husband was gone. But the illness, the depression, being in a neighborhood where I didn't know anybody, I became an introvert. Painting, I could order everything offline that I needed, so why did I need to go out, right? So I stayed in my house. And I painted. And I learned different techniques, and I learned this, and I learned that, and it got me out of my depression. But it didn't, just caused another issue, me being an introvert. And to this day, I still am an introvert. Um, I have 3 or 4 stores that I go to um, on my own, and right now I don't really even go to those stores because I'm going through a difficult time walking, and so until we can get that straightened out, um, going to the store without my husband scares me. So here I'm back at being a total introvert. And I did try craft store shows, but my husband was always there, helped me set up, pick me up, all that. Um, so still an introvert. Um, but then I don't know. I have tried YouTube channels in the past through this art course that I've taken. They ask, be a good way for me to get my art out there. I could never do it. And then I saw Kevin and Michelle's course, um, Common Sense Methods, and he offered it for 7 days. And I started thinking, I could do this. I could be on YouTube, but it scared me because I'm one of these, I can handle feedback. I just can't handle negativity, from people. Um, and being an introvert, you don't have to face that negativity out there in the world. But I talked to my husband about it. He says, just go for it. So I did. And my first video wasn't the best, but it was something I did. And it changed me in the sense. I found myself opening up a little more, talking a little more, um, coming up with ideas a little more. But it was me. I'm a senior citizen, right? 67. My whole idea was to go into this YouTube thing trying to help out senior citizens. And in some aspects, I still am. But it was a video that Kevin and Michelle had posted, and I watched, and it was talking about don't be afraid to do YouTube. Do it for yourself. Don't worry about how many followers you have or how many views you have. Don't worry about if you're making money off of it. Don't worry, how many subscribers you have or anything like that. Do it for yourself. She mentioned in this video that you're doing it for a legacy. You're doing it for handing it down to your children so they can see who you are. Well, being 67, it might be a little late for that, but YouTube has given me the opportunity to meet other people. Yeah, we're not meeting person to person. We're talking on a screen to one another or watching each other on a screen. But they have ideas like I do. They have concerns like I do. It's not me going to my kids and say, hey, I'm really concerned about this. How about you? And they're going like, we're not on Social Security right now. So why are we worried about it? Or, yeah, we know what's going on with Iran, but we're not worried about it. I'm like, why aren't you guys worried about it? You have kids. So YouTube has given me those people I can connect to, feel safe with, given me another me. It's me. given me the opportunity to voice my concerns, given me the opportunity to show my craft, um, to show other ideas that I have. Yeah, I'm still an introvert, but I don't find myself lonely anymore. Some people might say that's weird and I should go see somebody and get some help, but no, I don't have to, because I know I could turn my YouTube channel on and either Kevin's going to be there or Michelle's going to be there or Uncle Billy's going to be there or um, one of another one is going to be there. Scott will be there, or someone else is going to be there that I follow, and I can watch them and I can leave them a comment and they give me a comment back. I can watch all my favorites, and I'm connecting to them in some way, and it makes me feel like that I'm a part of this world, but I don't have to be out in the world like these young kids are out there protesting and stuff like that. And then when my husband comes home from work, I can say, guess what I learned today? And we talk about it. Yeah, it's opening me up, but I'm approaching it in a different way. I'm not too worried about how many followers or how many views, or am I going to be making money? That's right now not my concern. I would like to make money off it so I can get my husband to retire, but if I worried about that, I'd be crazy right now trying, oh God, I got to redo that video, No, that was bad because look, it only got 4 reviews. That's not important to me right now. What important to me is that this YouTube video or channel is me. And then I'm putting myself out to you. Maybe that you can get some help. You can comment and ask how I dealt with being an introvert. What's it like being an introvert? I can get into it deeper. There's a whole list of things like, have you sold your art? Well, no. And what was it like not selling your art? I can get on that subject. Comments people made about my art and how that made me feel. But I don't care right now, even when I do post it on YouTube, because I'm not after those comments. This is just for me. For me, that's what it is. It's for me, for Holly, nobody else, for me. I know that sounds selfish, doesn't it? I should be making these videos for people out there to offer help for them. But I'm a firm believer that in order for me to help someone, I got to help myself. And right now I'm in the process of helping myself so I can help others, right? I might never not be an introvert. Because I'm hoping my health will get better and I'll be able to get out there more. But if it doesn't, my health prevents me from doing things on my own like I'm so used to doing and can't now, which frustrates me. But here I'm going to go crying again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. But sometimes accomplishments become in small footsteps or pieces. And that's what I take today. Those accomplishments might not be big, but they're something to be proud of. And I am proud of what I am doing right now. My videos are not perfect. They might be boring to some people, but they're me, right? Take it or leave it. You might recommend it. Yeah, you got to catch this lady. She is like, oh, boring, but she says some pretty stuff that might help you out. But um, I don't know. I don't know. I know at 67 years old, there's a lot of senior citizens my age and older that find ourselves lonely. And we need to find ways to curb that loneliness. And YouTube could be a one way to do it. You know, all you have to do is talk. You really don't have to do anything but talk, you know, and some people will reach out to you. There's several people on YouTube that just talk. Give Uncle Billy a, um, a chance. Watch his. That's all he does is talk. Um, so I don't know now. I'm losing my train of thought. I don't know what to do now. Oh my gosh. There's a lot more I could say. I'll have to make another video because I watched something yesterday that really bothered me, but that's a whole nother video and I'll get to that one. But before I say goodbye, I've been working on this bear face and it's finished. And it's the old going to something new. And I want to show it to you guys, the finished product. But I got to explain it a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm not a bear, but this bear reminds me, in some sense, me. It represents me. It was old. The canvas that it's on is an old reused canvas. I've had him for years, the bear face. The paint has been something I've had sitting around mixed, and so that kind of old paint, but usable. And I'm turned it into something I feel is beautiful. Okay. So that kind of is representing me. I'm old right now, but not unusable. And so let me just show it to you. Um, there we go. You see it okay? So like I said, this is a wood canvas and I've had it for a while because I just reuse it over and over again. The bear face is something that I've had for a while. Let me see if I can get a little more light on him. Kind of help see some of the colors. Yeah, there we go. The paint I already had mixed up, so I thought I could use it up. Yeah, so something old to something new. Yeah, that's me. Something old, not changing it into something new, but to something old, to something more usable, something more beautiful. So I don't like pushing my art to be sold, but if somebody really wants to buy this, I'd be willing to sell it. All you have to do is contact me. But yeah, so that's just it. I'm an introvert with a how am I going to say it? An introvert with a I just lost my train of thought. An introvert with something to do. Yes. You can be an introvert and still keep busy and still keep sane and still feel a part of this world without really stepping outside. But if you have any comments or any questions, please write them down in the comment area. I'd be more than willing to answer any questions you have. Yeah, like I said, if you want to see more like this bare face, let me know. I can do more like that as well. So I've got some more ideas like this one little project I'm doing now, something different. It's going to take a while, but yeah, email or send a message in the comment area. You have any questions? So if you do like this video, please press the like button. If you haven't subscribed and you like it and you want to subscribe, go for it. I really don't care. It's up to you. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to come through the screen and say, you better be a subscriber. But please, if you like watching my videos and you want to know when I come out with another one, hit the notification bell. That's important because that'll let you know when I have a new video coming out. Okay? And then down in the comment area or in the description box, I'll put the link to Michelle and Kevin's school, Common Sense Methods. Like I said, he's offering 7 free days, so check it out. It could be something for you. It could not, but you'll never know unless you try it. Like I said, it's really been a blessing in my life. So try it out. If you want to hear more about how it's helped me out, let me know, as I can answer some more questions. And I'll put Michelle's links to her channel down there in the description box as well. You've got to listen to her. She is just hilarious. If I could talk as much as she talks, I don't know. I think my channels would be way out there as well. But I hope this video helped out a little bit to know me a little bit more and where I've come from. Yeah. Well, I have a whole other story about my life if you want to hear about it, but I don't know. Sometimes I think that all people don't want to hear about me and my life and whatever, I feel my life is boring, but if you want to hear more about me, let me know. I've got some ideas about things that have come up in the news that I want to talk about, and more projects and more painting that I want to do. So always be creative, always be happy, and I will see you at our next adventure. Bye.